Alright, so I've just about wrapped this one up. So this is the FV-9. It is a sort of Eastern Bloc medium tank based on the Object 430. Now, I've done videos about this one before. The gimmick is the Starfall armor. I'm able to shape it to the nice curves on the tank. This one is compatible, or there are versions for ACE as well as ACF-3. And yeah, the links are going to be to my Google Drive, are going to be in the description, and yeah, sure, I'll leave them in a pinned comment as well. Okay, I guess we can start with the mass first. So on ACE, it is 38.8 tons. On ACF-3, it is 33.3 tons. 33.4, okay. Now, that is like a 5-ton difference. The reason for that is because the ACE version is using a apply force gun. It's mostly physical and needs a reinforced structure. ACF-3 has the turret drive entities, which are basically hollow parent, so you have very little physical weight. Alright, we can talk about the mobility next. So once again, there are differences. On ACE, it has 43 horsepower per ton. On ACF-3, it has 24. Now, in both versions of the add-ons, it uses 2 medium transaxle turbines, aero turbines, and has a top speed of 33 miles per hour. Yeah, really. The steering is using brake clutch, so the only way to steer in ACE and ACF-3, pretty much. Alright, now for the armament. Both versions have a 100mm cannon. They also have a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun, and 4 smoke dischargers. Now for the armor, I'd rather not get into specifics because there's a bunch of numbers everywhere, so I put it like this. Against a 100mm AP shell fired along the frontal arc, it is able to defend against that in a 40-degree arc. So that is going to be head-on, about 20 degrees to the left, and 20 degrees from the right, the tank's right. Another thing I armored it against was the 30mm autocannon firing APDS. So once again, head-on, it's able to protect all the way up to about 45 degrees left and right, so 90 degrees, a 90-degree arc for that. One thing I'd like to mention is that the tank does fit crude, but it is on the smaller size. The shape is sort of built around the internals, so it does suffer from capacity. So low ammo capacity, low fuel capacity, and it's generally cramped. Another thing to be mindful of is you might not even be able to spawn the tank. Well, you will be able to spawn it, but the armor might not exist for you, depending on whether or not your service version of Starfall is up to date. Now another thing, because we are using Starfall armor, is for some reason I cannot spawn the vehicle with this stuff parented, and so instead I'm relying on an E2 to parent the armor for me. So every time you spawn a tank, the only thing you have to do is come up to the sign and hit E, and that'll parent and make all the armor invisible as well. I should also mention that there is an instruction manual that comes with the tank. Now if you parent the armor first, you won't be able to see this because the origin and the book are parented to the sign, so you can quickly get rid of them. But it comes with a quick control, or not very quick, but maybe. But it comes with all the controls for the tank, everything you might want to know about. Okay, so just a few minor notes to wrap up the video. So yeah, medium tank, not MBT, doesn't feature any sort of composite armor. I guess really that's the only distinction. It kind of looks like an MBT, but it's very primitive, so I guess medium tank. That being said, I actually don't do battles with my tanks too often, so you're just gonna have to let me know how effective it is if it's not a total dog turd. And another thing is that both the ACF-3 and ACE versions of the vehicle have a pretty high horsepower per ton rating. However, the speed is fairly low. Now in my notes here, it says not my problem. No, I don't know. I'm just not gonna pull my hair out about making it faster. At least the ACF-3 version, it has a pretty low mass ratio. So the ACE version could possibly benefit from one more gear, but yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. I do have a comment on MSCS, so there is another patch for that. I did not make a video on it because it's just a short thing for the core, but you should absolutely get it because that had a problem. So there was this really annoying bug. I couldn't quite find it. I'm actually not sure if I completely fixed it. However, it hasn't broken yet. But when you get in the chair or get out, without refreshing the chip, there was a chance that the chip would error out and just break. However, I think I've traced it down and fixed it, so definitely when you download the tank, that will be embedded in the tank, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you have an FCS, you should definitely go ahead and get the core. I don't have it open here, but otherwise, first tank I released in like 3 years, so have fun, and I'll see you around.